Moments ago, court documents were unsealed.
Prince Andrew and the former President Bill Clinton have been named in newly released court documents relating to the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Tonight, more newly unsealed court documents just released involving accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell as Jeffrey Epstein.
Are you ready to enter the dark world of the Epstein List? This shocking web of connections leaves no stone unturned. Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, had a little black book filled with the names of influential individuals from all walks of life. Epstein's List is a disturbing catalog of potential improprieties from politicians to royalty. Epstein's connections extended far and wide, reaching the highest levels of society. Names like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew appear on this infamous list. But the Epstein List goes beyond famous faces. It also includes influential businessmen, academics, and even media moguls. This shocking network has raised eyebrows and fueled countless conspiracy theories. Some speculate that these connections helped Epstein evade justice, while others believe it goes deeper, involving dark secrets and secret societies. But one thing is clear: the Epstein List is a chilling reminder of the power and influence that a select few can hold. As the investigations continue, the full extent of this web of connections is slowly unveiled. Will justice be served, or will the powerful protect their own? Jeffrey Epstein was a man who did terrible things. He tricked young girls into coming to his house by promising them massages, but then he would do misconduct and hurtful things to them, according to a legal case in 2019. One of the victims, Jennifer Arauz, said Epstein first talked to her about her life and dreams, but later he became very mean and hurtful to her. Epstein was in trouble for a long time because of what he did, but he managed to avoid getting in trouble. In 2005, he was first accused of hurting a teenager, but he only got charged with a minor crime. This made many people angry, and the FBI started looking into him. In 2008, he got a short jail sentence, even though he had done bad things to an underage girl. He made a deal with a lawyer to avoid worse charges. In 2018, people started talking about this case again because of the role of a lawyer named Alexander Acosta, who also happened to be the Secretary of Labor, in giving Epstein a short sentence. 2019, Epstein was arrested again after investigators looked at what he did between 2002 and 2005. According to a 2019 legal case, Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, tricked young girls into coming to his house by promising them massages, only to engage in inappropriate and hurtful behavior. Epstein was facing charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy, but a month later, he died by suicide in a jail in New York. The investigation didn't stop, and they ended up finding out more about his partner, Maxwell, who was convicted of sex crimes related to her involvement with Epstein. The case against him revealed that the victims, some as young as 14, were paid to provide sexual services to him and his friends, and to recruit other young girls to his circle of victims. Epstein's employees would also sexually abuse the young girls. He was facing charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy in July 2019 when, 1 month later, he died by suicide in a New York federal jail. The investigation continued after his passing, leading prosecutors to convict Maxwell of sex crimes in connection to her dealing with Epstein. Recently, some court documents were made public due to a lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell in 2015. These documents include the names of people who knew Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy financier involved in criminal activities. Among these names were former U.S. presidents and British royalty, like Prince Andrew. The lawsuit was filed by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who had accused Epstein and Maxwell of abusing her. Maxwell had called Giuffre a liar, but the case was settled in 2017. Later, Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison for her involvement in Epstein's crimes after his death. The released documents didn't reveal much new information about Epstein's high-profile associates. Some of this information had already been known to the public, and some records had been disclosed in other legal cases. In December 2023, a U.S. district judge named Loretta Preska ordered the release of these documents, but she allowed people until January 1st to appeal if they didn't want their names to be made public. However, the names of victims who were minors at the time of the abuse were not disclosed, although some of them had previously spoken about Epstein's actions in media interviews. Mostly, the documents say little about the actions taken by individuals outside of Epstein. However, there is a 2016 deposition from Johanna Sjoberg, one of Epstein's victims, that mentions politicians and figureheads in the US and abroad. While celebrities like Bruce Willis, Cameron Diaz, Cate Blanchett, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, and Leonardo DiCaprio are also mentioned in the records, they have not been accused of helping Epstein in any capacity. Sjoberg was only asked if she had met the people above, which she denied. Connections to Epstein previously led high-level executives, including Barclays chief executive Jes Staley, to resign. Jean-Luc Brunel, a French modeling agent suspected of scouting girls for Epstein, killed himself in a Paris jail in 2022 while awaiting trial for rape accusations. The recently released documents confirmed the scale of both Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring and his robust social network. Prince Andrew, the younger brother of King Charles III, was one of the names referenced in the documents, mentioned by a witness for touching her breast. Andrew was also previously accused of raping Giuffre when she was a teenager. After Giuffre filed a lawsuit in 2021 and amid growing public pressure, Andrew was forced to relinquish his military titles and general duties, even as he repeatedly denied the allegations. The two settled the lawsuit in 2022 after Andrew paid Giuffre an undisclosed sum. But enough about these people. Let's talk about some of the most prominent and influential names released on the list. Bill Clinton. In the documents, it was mentioned that Epstein had told one of his victims, Johanna Sjoberg, that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. While Clinton had a prior connection with Epstein through the Clinton Foundation and even traveled with him to Africa in 2002, he denied knowledge of Epstein's crimes. He stated that he hadn't spoken to Epstein in nearly 2 decades. Donald Trump. Sjoberg's deposition mentioned that she and Epstein made an unplanned stop in Atlantic City due to bad weather. When asked if she had given Trump a massage, she said no. Trump had once called Epstein a terrific guy, but later distanced himself, claiming they had a falling out. Michael Jackson. Sjoberg recalled meeting Michael Jackson at Epstein's house, but denied massaging him. Sarah Kellen. Epstein's former assistant, Sarah Kellen, was mentioned in victim testimonies as having helped schedule what was euphemistically called massages, but were sexual services. A judge described Kellen as a participant in Epstein's scheme, though she was never charged, and she claimed to have been a victim of Epstein's abuse herself. Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, was mentioned in the records as someone Epstein allegedly forced a minor to have sex with multiple times. The documents also suggest that Dershowitz witnessed sexual abuse by Epstein and co-conspirators. Dershowitz played a significant role in negotiating a non-prosecution agreement for Epstein in the past. Share your thoughts and opinions on this case. Thanks for watching this informative overview of the Epstein List and its case. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more shocking revelations and insightful content.